Hello students, I hope you are going well and you are safe. अभी तक हम लोगों ने बात की है डिफरेंशिएशन की एंड बेसिक इंटीग्रेशन की. लास्ट लेक्चर में अपन ने देखा हाउ टू इंटीग्रेट एंड स्पेसिफिकली अपन ने बात की इंटीग्रेशन बाय सब्स्टिट्यूशन. सो लेट अस क्विकली रीकनेक्ट एंड लेट मी रिपीट फ्यू पॉइंट्स जो कि इंपॉर्टेंट हैं कैलकुलस के लिए बच्चे, जिनको मैंने रिपीट किया है वेरी ऑफन. द वेरी फर्स्ट पॉइंट, कैलकुलस इज बेस्ड ऑन फंक्शन. तो बाय नाउ बच्चे इट इज वेरी वेरी क्लियर कि जैसे ही अपन फंक्शन कहते हैं तो व्हाट फ्लैश कम्स टू आवर माइंड इज रिलेशन. वी हैव सीन डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ रिलेशन and we know that differentiation and integration are advanced calculus operations. So whenever we differentiate a function we get a new function and whenever we integrate a function we get a new function. जब differentiate करते हैं जो नया function होता है उसे derivative कहते हैं या differential coefficient कहते हैं. and in case of integration जिस function को अपन integrate करते हैं उसे integrand कहते हैं और जो अपने को function मिलता है उसे अपन कहते हैं इंटीग्रल कहते हैं. सो एंड द वेरी बेसिक मीनिंग ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन इज दिस इज इनवर्स प्रोसेस ऑफ डिफरेंशिएशन. यानी इंटीग्रेशन और डिफरेंशिएशन में वही रिलेशनशिप है जो एग्जैक्टली एडिशन और सब्ट्रैक्शन में है. वी प्रिपेयर्ड अ लिस्ट ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड इंटीग्रल, फिर अपन ने सिंपल रूल्स देखे एंड दे आर वेरी वेरी ऑर्डिनरी. लाइक कांस्टेंट कैन बी टेकन आउटसाइड साइन ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन एंड देन वी सॉ सम रूल. उतनी एलाबरेट टेक्निक्स अपन ने यहाँ पे कवर अप नहीं की दैट यू विल डू इन मैथ्स. एक और चीज अपन ने देखी इंटीग्रेशन बाय सब्स्टिट्यूशन. इंटीग्रेशन बाय सब्स्टिट्यूशन अपन कब यूज करते हैं? व्हेन द गिवन फंक्शन, जिसको हम लोग इंटीग्रेंट कहते हैं, जिसे इंटीग्रेट करना है, वो स्टैंडर्ड फंक्शन नहीं है, यानी जिसका इंटीग्रल अपने को नहीं पता है, तो वी गो फॉर अप्रोप्रिएट सब्स्टिट्यूशन. तो अपन ने देखा वी हैव सीन द वर्किंग ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन बाय सब्स्टिट्यूशन. ओके, आज थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ेंगे एंड देन विल स्टार्ट एप्लीकेशन ऑफ कैलकुलस. यानी ये जो डिफरेंशिएशन इंटीग्रेशन अपन ने पढ़ा है इसकी फिजिक्स में क्या एप्लीकेशन है. ओके स्टूडेंट, सो वंस अगेन वी रिटर्न टू इंटीग्रेशन एंड इंटीग्रेशन को अपन ब्रॉडली दो कैटेगरीज में क्लासिफाई कर सकते हैं. सो वन कैटेगरी विच वी हैव बीन डूइंग राइट नाउ अप टू दिस पॉइंट, इट वाज इनडेफिनिट integration. Then there is a second category and this is called definite integration. To be very clear, in physics we come across definite integration. So let's understand what is the meaning of definite and indefinite integral. So it is like this: fx dx and we integrate, we get phi x plus c. So we know the meaning of all terms involved. C is constant of integration. So this category of integration is referred as indefinite. Why it is indefinite? Because the value of C is not known. That's why we call it indefinite integral. And when there is a specific value of C, so it becomes definite. That's the whole idea. Now in case of definite integral, so it will be like this. It will be a to b and that will be fx dx and that will be phi x plus c and this is a to b and then this is upper limit minus lower limit. So this is the difference. Now you can see this is a fixed value, it's a definite value, that's why it is called definite integral. This a is referred as lower limit and this b is referred as upper limit. इसको बच्चे अपन upper limit कहते हैं. That is just the language part. So what we do in definite integration, we integrate as usual then we have lower limit, upper limit. So the value of the integral at upper limit minus the value of integral at lower limit. So here we see that there is no c, it is definite, it has a fixed value. That's why the name definite integral or definite integration. In physics, whenever we perform integration, so we'll be always putting appropriate limit. Just to appreciate this thing, let us take a simple example. Suppose I take like this integral x square dx, and that is 1 to 2. So 1 is the upper limit and 2 is the 1 is the lower limit and 2 is the upper limit. So we integrate as usual. So it is x cube by 3 and it is 1 2 and this is upper 1 by 3 मैंने बाहर ले लिया. So 2 cube minus 1 cube and this on simplification gives 8 minus 1 and this is 7 by 3. So it's simple. So there are two types of integration. One is indefinite integration and definite integration. पहचानना बहुत आसान है. जहां आपको लिमिट्स दिखे इट इज डेफिनेट इंटीग्रेशन. इट विल हैव अ फिक्स वैल्यू. इनडेफिनेट इंटीग्रेशन में अपन लास्ट में c ऐड कर देते हैं. दैट इज कांस्टेंट ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज रेफर्ड एज indefinite. So the steps are very simple to evaluate definite integral. What we do, simply integrate and then apply upper limit, the value of integral at upper limit minus value of integral at lower limit. We can take a few more examples. It's very simple. So we take integral sin x dx 0 to pi. Okay, so we know the integration of sin x is minus cos x. So it is 0 to pi. So this is minus cos pi and this is minus cos 0. ध्यान दें बच्चे, upper limit minus lower limit. Value of integral at upper limit minus value of integral at lower limit. So this gives us minus cos pi is minus 1. So this is minus 1. So this minus becomes plus and cos 0 is 1. So on simplification we get 2. So likewise we can take many examples. I take one more example. I put it like this. It is integral 0 to pi by 4. And here we write cos 2x dx. Okay. Now the integration of cos 2x dx. So we know it, and this is sin 2x divided by 2. This is 0. This is pi by 4. So we take half common. So we write the value of integral at upper limit, that is sin 2 pi by 4 minus sin 2 into 0. So we get a half and this becomes sin pi by 2 minus, of course this is 0. So on simplification we get half. So this is the answer. So it's all very simple. There is nothing big into it, and we must know how to evaluate definite integral. Just proceed for normal integration, then value of integral at upper limit minus value of integral at lower limit. Okay, so let's take one more example. So it is like this: integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus x dx. Okay, so बच्चे let us apply, let's integrate, and when we integrate we get e to the power minus x divided by minus 1 and it is 0 to infinity. So we can write this as minus e to the power minus x 0 to infinity. So this is upper limit e to the power minus infinity minus e to the power 0. Now we know that e to the power infinity is infinity and e to the power minus infinity is 1 over e to the power infinity. So this will be approaching 0. and any number raised to the power 0 is 1. So this is minus and this is 0 and this is minus 1, and on simplification we get 1. So just be alert. And again ध्यान देने वाली बात है बच्चे, e to the power minus x dx is minus e to the power minus x, of course plus c. Integration of e to the power x is e to the power x, but e to the power minus x, तो इस पॉइंट को आप ध्यान से देखें. दिस इज, एक मैंने बहुत ही हैंडी एक्सप्रेशन बताया था, इफ यू रिमेंबर, इफ यू नो द इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ एफ एक्स देन ऑल द फंक्शंस वेयर x इज रिप्लेस्ड बाय ax प्लस b, तो इंटीग्रल बहुत आसान होता था. वी यूज टू डिवाइड बाय कोफिशिएंट ऑफ x. तो नाउ हियर कोफिशिएंट ऑफ x इफ वी सी, सो जिसको अपन ने a डिनोट किया था, एंड दिस इज माइनस 1, so it will be divided by minus 1. So these are the simple integrations and we should be familiar and comfortable with that. So this is in nutshell integration. बहुत डिटेल में अपन नहीं जाएंगे. अगेन एंड अगेन आई हैव बीन रिपीटिंग, डिटेल्स में बच्चे आप मैथ्स में पढ़ेंगे, बट दिस मच इज नीडेड इन फिजिक्स टू स्टार्ट विथ. बीच में कुछ एक पॉइंट्स और आएंगे फिजिक्स में, तो वो उसी पॉइंट पे डिस्कस कर लेंगे, बट नॉट राइट नाउ. राइट नाउ आई वांट यू टू अप्रिशिएट एलिमेंट्री कैलकुलस. आपको डर नहीं लगना चाहिए, आपका डर खत्म होना चाहिए, एंड यू शुड बी कंफर्टेबल. ओके, so we move towards the application of calculus. ये जो हमने सीखा है, so what is its application? तो जो पहला एप्लीकेशन यहाँ पर अपन सीख रहे हैं बच्चे, एंड इट इज derivative as a rate measurer. Derivative as a rate measurer. This is the whole point. Derivative as a rate measurer. Okay, now this y is a function of x. So when we differentiate dy by dx, we already know this is limit delta x approaching 0 delta y over delta x. So this meaning we have already discussed, but आज इसको थोड़ा सा let's look at this in a slightly different way. So dy by dx is representing change in y with respect to x. So we can look upon this as rate of change of y with respect to x. Hence derivative can be looked upon as a rate measurer. As a rate measurer. That's the simple meaning. छोटे छोटे एग्जाम्पल्स लेते हैं so that we can appreciate this point. Say for example, we take area of a circle. So now we know that area of circle is pi r square. If I differentiate it with respect to time, that is dA over dt, so this will be 2 pi r dr by dt. Now this dA by dt is the rate of change of area with respect to time, and this dr by dt is rate of change of radius with respect to time. So derivative as a rate measurer. So I can find out rate of change of area given if we know how the radius of the circle is changing. These two are connected. Definitely when the radius will change, area will change. So the rate of change of radius and the rate of change of area will be connected, and this is how, this is with this relation they will be connected. Okay, now in physics we have simple terms like velocity. So velocity is defined as rate of change of displacement. So this is the definition, rate of change of displacement, velocity. So that means we can write velocity as ds by dt. Here s is representing displacement. So with the help of calculus, or in terms of calculus, we can write v is equal to ds by dt. Suppose I say this is your velocity. I take one example, like displacement of a particle is given by s is equal to t square minus 2t plus 3. So the question is, find velocity of particle at t is equal to 3 seconds. Suppose I take like this. A particle is moving in a straight line and its displacement is given by this relationship. Just now we have learned v is equal to ds by dt, rate of change of velocity. So this will be equal to 2t minus 2. Now we want velocity at t is equal to 3 seconds. So it will be 2 into 3 minus 2, that is 6 minus 2, and it is 4 meter per second. तो बच्चों बात कर रहे हैं अपन application of calculus. The very first application we have taken up is derivative as a rate measurer. So we can connect the rate of change of various quantities, and we can find out rate of change of various quantities with respect to different quantities. And dy by dx, the meaning of dy by dx physically is rate measurer. Okay, another thing we take up, that is acceleration. Now this acceleration is defined as rate of change of velocity. So displacement का डेरिवेटिव velocity हो गया और velocity का डेरिवेटिव acceleration हो गया. So we can write acceleration is equal to dv by dt. So symbols have their usual meaning. A is acceleration, v is velocity. So this is how we see the connection, and also it is important to note that we can write it as d by dt, and this is ds by dt. So we can see that this is second derivative of displacement. So acceleration is second derivative of displacement or first derivative of velocity. So these are the two quantities. We are going to use it in kinematics. So we said this is displacement, and then we have velocity, and then we have acceleration. So we can see that these quantities are connected, and the relationship between them is very, very simple. You differentiate velocity, you get you differentiate displacement, you get velocity. You differentiate again, you get acceleration. And definitely, as we know, integration is the inverse process. So if we wish to come back from acceleration to velocity, I need integration and integration. So this is the application we have taken up, derivative as a rate measurer. To sum up, it's very simple. So velocity can be looked upon as rate of change of displacement. Acceleration can be looked upon as the rate of change of velocity. Acceleration can also alternately be expressed as second derivative of displacement with respect to time. There is one more manipulation. There is one more manipulation for acceleration. We can write this as A is equal to dv by dt. This can be written as dv over ds over dt. So this is just a mathematical manipulation, and we can see that it is same. Now this becomes v dv by ds. तो जहाँ जैसी जरूरत होगी we are going to use it in numerical problems. So acceleration can be manipulated in three ways. So one is acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. It is also second derivative of displacement with respect to time. Also acceleration, just now we have expressed, it can be written as A is equal to v dv over ds. More we'll see in the chapter of kinematics, but for the time being it is sufficient to know velocity is the rate of change of displacement and acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. The meaning of derivative is it can be looked upon as rate measurer. Dy by dx means rate of change of y with respect to x. Okay, so this was one application. The second application we are going to take up here is maxima and minima. So this is our second application. So let's see, we have y as a function of x. So we have step number 1, and this is very simple. Find dy by dx. That is the first step. Step number 2, dy by dx is equal to 0. So we solve this equation. So solve this equation. Say for example I get x is equal to alpha, beta, gamma and so on. And then we have step number 3. It is called second derivative check. Second derivative check. So what we do, we evaluate second derivative, and there are two possibilities. If it is positive, so this implies minima, and if it is negative, this implies maxima. And the important thing is, if second derivative is 0, so this implies neither maxima nor minima. So this is the working method. Maxima minima, we can find out the maxima minima of the function. So I repeat again. So we take up a function y is equal to fx, we differentiate, that is the step number 1, and then we put second derivative 2 equal to 0. We solve this equation. Say for example I get alpha, beta, gamma. Then we evaluate second derivative, and if it is positive then it is minima, and if it is negative it is maxima, and if it is 0 it is neither maxima nor minima. Important point is that we need to remember that this method gives local maxima minima, not absolute ones. सो दिस इज अ वर्ड ऑफ कॉशन. इस टेक्निक से अपने को लोकल मैक्सिमा मिनिमा मिलते हैं, नॉट द एब्सोल्यूट वन. इट इज जस्ट लाइक दैट. नांदेड़ का टॉपर कौन है? वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑल इंडिया टॉपर. So this is like that. So we are talking about local maxima minima, यानी compared to the neighboring values maximum है या minimum. It is not compared to the entire values of the function in a specific region near a specific point. So that we have to keep it in mind. So let's apply this thing. First we just do mathematically. Again and again I am telling you details you will have when you study maths. But here we are just doing it as a basic technique. Say for example I take like this. We have a function y is equal to x square minus 3x plus 1. The question is find maxima or minima, whatever. Okay, now let's go for solution. So let's find out dy by dx, and this is 2x minus 3. Now let us put dy by dx is equal to 0. So that gives us 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. That implies x is equal to 3 by 2. Okay. Now let us evaluate the second derivative. So if we evaluate the second derivative, it is 2. So now we can see that its value is positive. So that implies the value of second derivative at x is equal to 3 by 2 is 2, which is positive. So we conclude hence at x is equal to 3 by 2, that is near this point, at x is equal to 3 by 2, we get minima, and again this is local minima. This is local minima. That means the values of function at x is equal to 3 by 2 will be lowest compared to the values around 3 by 2. So it's a local minima. So that is what we can conclude. It may not be absolute minima. It may not be. अपने को और फर्दर एक्सप्लोर करना पड़ेगा और देखना पड़ेगा. Okay, so we take one more example. I have taken y is equal to minus x square plus 4x plus 1. Again the question is find maxima minima. Okay, so let's differentiate. Dy by dx is equal to minus 2x plus 4. Put it equal to 0. That gives us x is equal to 2. So this is the value. Now if we find out the second derivative, so this is minus 2, and so that implies the value of second derivative at x is equal to 2 is minus 2, that is negative. So we conclude hence at x is equal to 2 function has maxima. Again maxima is local. So this is a simple working. You just need to remember one thing. Local maxima minima may not be absolute मैक्सिमा और मिनिमा. हो भी सकता है और नहीं भी हो सकता है. सो दिस इज हाउ वी प्रोसीड मैथमेटिकली. सो इट्स वेरी सिंपल. जस्ट टू सम अप, वी consider the function, we differentiate it, we get the first derivative and we put it equal to 0, we solve this equation, we get some value, then we go for second derivative check. If it is positive, it is minima, and if it is negative, it is maxima, and if it is 0, it is neither maxima nor minima. I take up one practical example and it will be helpful also. So the question is like this: the sum of two numbers is constant. मान लिया मैंने से 10. Find the maximum value of their product. Okay, so maximum value. So let's understand the question very carefully. दिया हुआ है बच्चे अपने को कि दो नंबर का सम कांस्टेंट, अपन ने 10 मान लिया, से 10, तो अपने को बताना है कि व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट. ओके, सो लेट्स अप्लाई द concept of maxima minima we have learned just now. So we can write product is equal to x into y. मैंने मान लिया x and y are the two numbers, x and y are the two numbers. ये मैंने मान लिया. Now according to question अपने को दिया हुआ है x plus y is 10. So we have to make it a single variable function. So we can write p, which is product, that we can write x और y की वैल्यू हम लिख सकते हैं 10 minus x, and this on simplification gives us 10x minus x square. So we see p as a function of x, that is 10x minus x square. So for maxima, so we know whether it is maxima or minima. First derivative is 0. So dp by dx is 0. So this gives us 10 minus 2x is equal to 0, which on further simplification gives us x is equal to 5. Now let us calculate second derivative. So if we try to calculate second derivative, so this is minus 2 and this is negative. So what we conclude, hence at x is equal to 5, p is maximum. Now when x is equal to 5, so it is clear, if x is equal to 5, so x और y equal हो जाएंगे and that will be 5 2, because x plus y is 10. So that means our maximum product will be 5 into 5, 25. Now this is a very simple result. That means if the sum of two numbers is constant, then their product is maximum when they are equal. So the sum is 10, so their product maximum will be 25. Suppose if I say the sum of two numbers is 12, so we know it very well. That means their product will be maximum when x and y are 6, that is 6 into 6, 36. So it's a very simple and important result. So let's remember it. We will be using it in physics. So we conclude if sum of two numbers is constant, then their product is maximum when they are equal. how we can apply it in physics? So I take up one example. Say for example, we know from Newton's law of gravitation that F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. Suppose I have a total mass of 10 kg and it is to be divided into two masses, m1 and m2, separated by a distance of say 1 meter. अब कोई अगर अपने से क्वेश्चन पूछे हाउ द मास शुड बी डिवाइडेड सो दैट फोर्स एक्सर्टेड इज मैक्सिमम, सो द क्वेश्चन इज हाउ द मास should be divided so that force between them is maximum. तो बच्चे बहुत सिंपल है, we can apply the result just now we have learned. So because now we can see from the expression force is maximum when product is maximum. So F is maximum implies m1 m2 should be maximum. Some constant है, so तो एक बात समझ में आ जाती है. So how, so this gives us m1 should be equal to m2 should be equal to 5 kg. And we get the maximum value of force. So maximum value of force will be the value of G 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 11, and this is 5 into 5 upon 1 square. So we can do the calculation. This is the maximum value of force. So these are the simple application. So whenever we seek local maxima minima, we can make use of calculus. Go for first derivative, put it equal to 0, get the values, then go for second derivative, check if it is negative it is maxima, if it is positive it is minima, and if it is equal to 0 it is neither maxima nor minima. Okay, remember wherever there is local maxima or minima, first derivative is always 0. So this is an important point. So that's a important point, that is first derivative is always 0 at local maxima and minima. इसको थोड़ा सा हम लोग और डिटेल में समझेंगे जब हम ज्योमेट्रिकल मीनिंग ऑफ डेरिवेटिव की बात करेंगे आफ्टर दिस टॉपिक एप्लीकेशन ऑफ कैलकुलस. सो फर्स्ट डेरिवेटिव इज ऑलवेज 0 एट लोकल मैक्सिमा और मिनिमा. सिमिलरली देयर इज वन मोर थिंग, जस्ट इंफॉर्मेशन है, इसको मैथ्स में आपको समझाएंगे. द पॉइंट्स वेयर second derivative is 0 are called points of inflection. This is the technical name, let's not worry much. Points of inflection, and this means the curve changes from concave to convex or convex to concave. सो दैट इज द मीनिंग पॉइंट्स ऑफ इन्फ्लेक्शन. कर्व या तो कॉन्केव से कॉन्वेक्स होगा या कॉन्वेक्स से कॉन्केव होगा. इफ आई ट्राई टू शो यू ग्राफिकली, so suppose I take a graph, this is y axis, this is x axis, and I draw it like this. So I hope you can see very clearly. So you can see the curve is convex. Now this is your concave part. Now here at this point you can see, so it is becoming convex. So the point where curve changes its concavity or convexity, we can call it points of inflection. So ये जो point है, say x is equal to alpha, so this becomes point of inflection. That is, curve changes its concavity और convexity. तो बच्चे आइडेंटिफाई करना बहुत आसान है. सो वी कैन सी फ्रॉम द ग्राफ, इट इज वेरी वेरी क्लियर. द एट दिस पॉइंट द कर्व इज क्लियरली बिकमिंग फ्रॉम कॉन्केव टू कॉन्वेक्स. सो points of inflection, maxima, minima. Just now we have done a very simple result. If the sum of two numbers is constant, then their product sum is constant, then their product is maximum when they are equal. So, and we know how technically it is applied. Okay, so derivative as a rate measurer, maxima, minima, and then coming to integration part. So we move to third application. Now for that we need to know one basic thing. Integration basically means summation. That is the basic meaning of integration. So जैसे ही अपन इंटीग्रेशन कहते हैं, दिमाग में ये वर्ड फ्लैश करना चाहिए, summation. It is fine that we have learned the process of integration is inverse process of differentiation. So this is the basic meaning of integration. Summation, integrate करना. Summation means to add up. To add up. Total charge, total mass, total length. So when we add up total area, total volume, so that is the meaning. So what we do, like we can write different things, like we can write this dm. So m stands for total mass, so we can write out total volume dv. So this is volume, so this is mass. We can write area, integral dA, so that is total area. Similarly we can write q is equal to integral dq. Similarly we can write t, integral dt, so that's for time, that's for charge. So total length, so we can write it as L integral dl. So this is total length. Now here, as a student of physics, we need to appreciate this dm is elementary mass, elementary volume, elementary area, elementary charge, and this is element of time, and this is elementary length, elementary time. Now when we say dt, dx, dl, dq, so that means infinitesimally small quantity. So whenever we say dm, so we mean infinitesimally small mass. When we say dl, it means infinitesimally small length. When we say dt, it means infinitesimally small time interval. So that is the meaning of integration. Now before we look into this application of integration, so we need to appreciate the geometrical meaning of integration. So I say geometrical meaning of integration. Geometrical meaning of integration. Okay, now y is equal to fx. Now every function will have some graph. So this is x-axis, y-axis. Let us say this is the graph. Now this expression integral y dx a to b. So this basically represents, so this is x is equal to a, x is equal to b. So this area, shaded area. So this is shaded area, that is area under graph. So this is what is represented by this definite integral a to b. Similarly, if I take this area, this is again a to b. So this area a dash, this is a, this is a dash, that is again will be represented by x dy a to b. So basically integration represents area under graph. This is important. Integration represents area under graph. Be careful if it is area under graph and x-axis. So this is how we write it. And if it is area under graph and y-axis, so this will be the expression. So geometrically integration represents area under graph. अभी अपन ने लिखा कि area basically integration is summation to add up. So this is what graphically it means, and it's a important meaning for us, and we'll be using it in physics very, very frequently. So I repeat again, if we have a function y is equal to fx, so this a is equal to a to b y dx, so it's representing the shaded area under graph and x-axis, and similarly a dash, this green color you can see. So this shaded area is represented by function integral x dy a to b. So just will be making use of these two expressions. Fundamentally, geometrically integration represents area under graph. Okay, now we can take up some examples and we can verify too using small maths. Say for example y is equal to x. So this is our simple function. So find area under graph from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 3. Okay, so our required area will be integral y dx a to b, and we can write lower limit will be 0, upper limit will be 3, y bole to x dx, and this is very simple, x square by 2, 0 to 3, upper limit minus lower limit, so it is 9 by 2 square units. So this is by integration. We can see it graphically also, because this function is very simple and all of us know its graph will be a straight line. It will be a straight line passing through origin. Okay, so this is the graph. Y is equal to x. मैं ये मान के चल रहा हूँ मेरे बच्चों ने स्ट्रेट लाइन के बारे में लोअर क्लासेस में पढ़ा है. नहीं पढ़ा है तो टेंशन नहीं लें, विल स्टडी इन डिटेल. ओके, सो दिस इज 0 एंड दिस इज x is equal to 3. Now y is equal to 3. So this is the area. I can calculate this area using the expressions जो कि हमने lower classes में सीखे हैं. That is area is equal to half base into height. क्योंकि जो shaded area है it happens to be a triangle which is a known figure. तो ये हो जाएगा हाफ बेस बोले तो 3, हाइट बोले तो 3. सो वी कैन सी दैट इट इज 9/2 स्क्वायर यूनिट. सो कैलकुलस से भी वही रिजल्ट आया. सो इट इज ऑल द सेम, बट every time we cannot apply the concept of lower classes. So calculus is a general method for calculating area under any graph. We may take up one more example. So I take y is equal to again x, find area under graph from x is equal to 1 to x is equal to 6. So again we use the calculus and we get area y dx, and this is 1 to 6. This is integral x dx 1 to 6, and this is x square by 2, and this is 1 to 6. ये कॉमन ले लिया हाफ, and we can write 6 square minus 1 square, so it becomes half 36 minus 1, so this is 35/2 units. But if we try to proceed graphically, so we can see that this is the graph y is equal to x. So this is x is equal to 1, and this is x is equal to 6. Now this thing will be 1 and this thing will be 6. Now we can see that the shaded area is a trapezium. So this area, that is shaded area, is a known figure and it is trapezium. So shaded area is trapezium. लोअर क्लासेस में एक बार फिर हमने ट्रेपेजियम का एक्सप्रेशन पता है, हाफ सम ऑफ पैरेलल साइड्स इनटू डिस्टेंस between them, and this is half sum of parallel sides. So we can see these are the parallel sides. So this is 1, this is 6, so this is 1 plus 6 into distance between them, which is 5. So we can see that we get the same result, that is 7 into 5 divided by 2, and this is 35/2. Again I am telling you, एवरी टाइम जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको जो शेडेड एरिया मिले वो कोई नॉन फिगर हो. फॉर्चुनेटली इन दीज टू एग्जांपल्स द शेडेड एरिया is a known figure. In previous example it was a triangle, now in this example is trapezium. So we can use the concept of lower classes, but in general area under any graph is calculated using calculus and integration. The basic meaning of integration is summation, and geometrically integration represents area under graph. Be careful whether we are seeking area under graph and x-axis or area under graph and y-axis. So that's a very very important point. So this I sum up and conclude important point. So integral y dx a to b, this is one expression, and integral a to b x dy. So just putting focus on it, this represents area under graph and x-axis. This represents area under graph and y-axis. तो बच्चे इस चीज़ को बहुत केयरफुली ध्यान दें, बी अलर्ट. छोटी छोटी बातें जिनको मैं आपको कहता हूँ कि दीज आर इम्पॉर्टेंट, इनको ध्यान दें, उनको समझें, रटना नहीं है, उसके पीछे के लॉजिक को देखें. सो टू थिंग जो कि आज हमने नई सीखी, दैट इज द बेसिक मीनिंग ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन इज समेशन. इट कैन बी समेशन ऑफ एनीथिंग. ज्योमेट्रिकली इंटीग्रेशन रिप्रेजेंट्स एरिया अंडर ग्राफ. वी हैव लर्नड application of calculus, that is derivative can be looked upon as rate measurer. We have seen how it can be applied in evaluating maxima minima. Be careful when we evaluate maxima minima, these are basically local maxima minima. It may not be absolute maxima minima. छोटे applications देखें, and as we will move into physics, इन बातों को बार बार यूज करेंगे. एंड दैट्स द वेरी पर्पस ऑफ स्टडिंग एलिमेंट्री कैलकुलस एज अ फर्स्ट स्टेप. इनफ फॉर टुडे. आई होप आप लेक्चर्स को थॉरोली सुन रहे हैं, एक एक पॉइंट्स को रिपीट कर रहे हैं. जो चीज़ आपको नहीं समझ में आ रही है प्लीज़ रिवाइंड द होल लेक्चर. बट इन चीज़ों को समझना जरूरी है. कोशिश करें बच्चे रटे नहीं, रटने से काम नहीं चलेगा. सो when you go through it many times, चीज़ें आपकी माइंड में सेटल होती हैं. Remember, physics means the basic definitions and basic laws. Well, students, see you in the next lecture. God bless you.